I was a member of the last Minyan Jewish worshiping community in North Minneapolis. After all of the congregations that had previously been on the north side moved, Knesset Israel maintained, nevertheless, a branch for members who stayed on the north side. This was particularly important because Knesset Israel was an Orthodox synagogue, and these members, in many cases, would only walk to services on Sabbath and festivals. So there needed to be a local alternative. And this branch, for a while, met in the Knesset Israel building on Plymouth, and then moved to a home on 10th and Thomas. The basement of this home, I believe, was slightly remodeled, and the minimum necessary elements were provided for worship: chairs, a Torah scroll, talitot, shawls, and prayer books. And my dear friend Richard Waldorski was made aware of the fact that this minyan, this quorum of worshipers, was meeting, and one fine day we joined them. And I never left. I never left because this minyan, this quorum, continued to meet through the 1970s and into the early 1980s, long after, I think, the great majority of Jews in the Twin Cities believed that there wasn't an institutional Jewish presence, nor any Jews left on the north side. There we were, meeting week after week for worship. And eventually the group moved to a storage room of an apartment building on 19th and Vincent, a half a block from my parents' home. And I continued to worship with them until I was literally the youngest member of this group and about the only person who could stand up long enough to lead some of the holiday services. And so I became more and more instrumental in sustaining the minyan in its last years. It taught me some great lessons. Lessons that can be only learned under those kinds of circumstances. I guess the most important lesson was that unless you have ever found yourself in a situation where if you're not there, it doesn't work, you can't appreciate something important about the nature of true community. I learned that from this group. I also learned that the importance of creating community has to do not simply with cohesiveness among people who think they have something in common, but finding common ground among people who think they don't. This was a really remarkable array, a diverse selection of Jews with all kinds of life stories, backgrounds, orientations, aspirations. And yet for a decade and then some, we managed to put together a genuinely caring worship community, and I will forever cherish that memory.